And this is how it operated. So that vertical representation of society is what we had in the first place. Now, this is very important, okay? And the model that you have today of one employee, one employer, and 14,000 employees, that is the modern corporation, this system cannot continue. Is not good economics to start with. It's only good economics if you maintain the frame, the economical frame in which they operate, which is constant injections of cash. Don't you find in the modern analysis of matters that when the people say the constriction of credit, and so when this measure is going to constrict credit and we have to pump more money into the economy, we have to lower the interest rates, for example, in order to create more liquidity into the economy, because otherwise the business will not be competitive anymore. What kind of business do we have today that they need the constant pumping of more credit in order to become viable? Don't you find it strange? Shouldn't we say, well, let them collapse? But if they collapse, they all collapse. Is the majority of them, they live out of the privilege established by the continuous imposition of their own monopoly through cash. But you actually, the only thing you have to do in order to make them unviable is to cut the supply. So when we say our economy is an economy of gold and silver, freely chosen by the people, when the money is not constantly expanded by somebody else, by third parties, and we are forced to use this money, when money is normal, therefore the money cannot grow. So therefore credit cannot be created out of nothing, and therefore these businesses disappear naturally. They will create in the process thousands, hundreds of thousands of unemployed people who have now no preparation whatsoever to undertake life as a free man. And that's the real tragedy, that this individual has been completely incapacitated to operate in a free society. It's like a person who has been forced all his life to sit down on a chair, and then one day he's asked to walk, but his muscles have receded and he cannot walk anymore. This is what you get. So that solution, instead of that freedom that is advocated in Islamic societies, that the anarchists of the early century pointed at, but only Islam properly formulates, takes a shortcut with the right wing. The right wing says all those things, but owned by the state. So the state takes responsibility of this. It's the big father. And in the mentality of the slave, is something that it is more appealing. The big brother. So that the majority of the Europeans will undertake this right wing, I have no doubt. That we are facing a crisis, there is no doubt. And one thing follows the other. That they will attack Islam, I have no doubt. And the only solution that we have, the only solution for these people, for the people in Europe to exist, is that Islam finally rises. And the only place in which it can rise is in Muslim countries. Now you will say, where are we at the moment? Well, we are trying to become a decadent capitalist society at the moment. We are trying to catch the train in the last wagon, which is already collapsing. We're not trying to become something any better. We're just following the model that is actually collapsing right now. Corporativism, financial corporativism of the latest part of the 20th century, now in its declining part. Wawasan Duapolo was called here. Vision 2020, the vision by which Malaysia will become a developed state by the year 2020. When you see those developed countries collapsing, you should question yourself whether this is the model that I want to pursue. Because the logic is, if what I'm trying to pursue doesn't work, I shouldn't be trying to follow that model. And perhaps one we could say, well, where else do we find the model? And that will be an opportunity to look into Islam and to recognize what is that we have.